So after months of drama and speculations on the web, the Diddy trial comes to an end, and it is safe to say that no one was able to predict this outcome, not even 50 Cent, as while we await the sentencing, we just found out that Diddy was found not guilty for the most serious charges, the charges that would have led to life in prison. So essentially, this was a huge victory for the mogul, although he's not off the hook just yet. And before we dive into the details, at the latter part of the video, we got some more that hit the web, and on the legal side of things, we got Drake versus UMG that is still on, and we got an update just hours ago that showed Drake's team pretty much goading UMG about how they are so scared to get exposed. And we also got more on Eminem's last album, The Death of Slim Shady, as we got a story from a writer/vocalist on the album who gave us a deep dive on how they ended up on the project, and it was pretty much the odds winning the lottery. And yes, we got more on Ja Rule versus 50 Cent, and Ja Rule took another L just hours ago. And starting with Diddy, he ended up beating the more serious charges.
Have the first verdict on count 1, racketeering conspiracy. How do you find the defendant not guilty? And so now they'll move on to count 2. Count 2, how do you find the defendant not guilty? That is the sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. On count 3, which is Mann Act transportation involving Cassie Ventura, guilty. Count 4, sex trafficking of Jane, not guilty. Count 5, Mann Act transportation of Jane, guilty. So a mixed verdict here. Not guilty on 3 of the charges, guilty on 2 of the charges. Lisa, your reaction?
And while the 2 guilty counts carry a maximum sentence of 10 years, based on what we have seen played out so far, those expecting Diddy to be locked up for up to 20 years are set to be disappointed. It is looking more like 5 years maximum on each of the guilty counts, with the possibility of concurrent sentencing, reducing the effective time served to around a maximum of 5 to 7 years, factoring in good conduct credits and the 9.5 months already served. So while a 20-year consecutive sentence is possible theoretically, it is not gonna happen since Diddy is a first-time offender, especially since the jury acquitted him on the more severe charges, which suggests that they didn't fully buy the narrative that Diddy was running a criminal enterprise. So yeah, and now I've seen people go as far as claim that he could walk free with no time served, but in my opinion, that is also unlikely, and the judge's final decision will hinge on the sentencing hearing, where both sides will present arguments, and factors like Diddy's behavior, victim impact statements, and guideline calculations will play a role. So now you know why many reports across the board have revealed that the verdict is seen as a victory for Combs, who was cleared of most of the serious charges against him. And going back to the case of music legend Chuck Berry in the 60s, he was found guilty of the same thing, transportation to engage in prostitution, and he was also a first-time offender and was given 5 years. And he ended up serving just 20 months due to appeals and reductions. Now, this was in the 60s when there was still full-blown overt racism. Add that to the fact that Chuck Berry's case involved an underage woman, so his example is extreme. And in Diddy's case, he was found guilty of 2 counts. No one was underage, and this in 2025, so safe bet would be around 2 to 4 years maximum. And factoring in the 9.5 months already served, Diddy could spend just over a year in prison. And over an X, many users are disappointed by this possibility. And walks on 3, so tired of likely criminals working on technicalities and more, so he walks on the most serious charges but still gets nailed for transporting women under the Mann Act. That's not a win. It is a partial dodge. The justice system needs to stop giving celebrities a pass. If the average person did this, they'd be buried under the prison. And some believe even 2 to 4 years is unlikely. Diddy will walk. And if this happens, expect his adversaries to start fleeing the United States. As we get this segment from Piers Morgan Uncensored of a former bodyguard who believes Diddy is coming for him if he walks.
If he does walk though, would you already fear about reprisals against you just for speaking out? Would you be genuinely concerned about him coming after you? Is that one of the reasons you've left the country?
Well, here's the thing, only thing I fear is God and my mom. And I made a promise to my mom that, I'm not gonna revert to an old lifestyle. And I know if he walks, I'm gonna be target number one, which is fine. I'm used to that. It's kind of exciting for me.
Is that exciting or is that slightly scary?
Oh no, it's definitely exciting, Piers.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain that, because in my world, I wouldn't find that exciting.
Well, we come from different professions.
Yes.
In my profession, it's what we live for.
Well, being someone's number one target.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Cap. And we put up a poll based on everything we just went over. So how many years do you think Diddy will get, or will he walk? Now, 50 Cent is a troll, but still perhaps we got enough to believe that this is not the news that 50 was looking forward to when it comes to Diddy, seeing as Diddy allegedly turned his baby mama to a little S worker. And before we get to more from 50 Cent, this time that sees Ja Rule take another L, we got an update on Drake versus UMG, as we got a statement a few hours ago from Drake's team. A spokesperson for Drake issued a statement after his legal team appeared before a federal judge in Manhattan and urged the court to allow the defamation case against UMG to proceed. UMG is desperate to see this case not move forward because the company can't hide its misconduct in a courtroom the way it does in the boardroom. Soon, in addition to facing concerned regulators and investors, the leadership of music's most powerful label will have to answer for the damage it has caused to every artist that has been silenced, exploited, endangered, or discarded. And this sparked reactions like, if Drake wins, the rap game is over. At least when it comes to the battle side of rap and diss tracks, it would be an L. However, some users were triggered by the post. Dumb dudes like you represent a certain fan base. If Drake wins, it is a win for music in general. Musicians have been long exploited by these record labels. Meek Mill was getting 15% of what they were making of him. 15%. Your hatred for Drake is making y'all clueless. Now, the problem with this is that Drake isn't doing this out of the goodness of his heart to protect artists, but rather to protect his image because he got embarrassed in a battle and hip-hop fans all over the world were dancing to a song that called him a pedo, and some have expanded. Funnily enough, what they say here about UMG is true, but this specific example with Drake isn't UMG going against the artists. It is just Drake being a baby who doesn't know how to lose. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts. Are you down for UMG getting exposed, even though we know it is only happening because Drake can't accept a loss? And moving on, we got Ja Rule trying to mock 50 Cent's stadium show. And we are talking about an artist who struggles to sell out small arenas. He is out here mocking one who has registered one of the highest grossing tours of all time. And he posted this in response to a post about 50 selling out a stadium. You sure about that? Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. I mean Curtis, eyes and laughing emoji. Now this is just sad coming from Ja Rule because this qualifies as delusion when the person he's dissing went on the final lap tour that broke into the all-time top 5 in hip-hop history when it was done. And Ja's post was met with takes like, bro, are you blind? This is about 10 times the crowd you can attract. How's your boy Billy, by the way? Y'all gonna perform during Fyre Fest 3 clown emoji. And 50 Cent took to IG to post receipts. First, he posted this video that shows Ja Rule isn't even allowed to travel to the places where he performs, like in the United Kingdom in this case.
UK was simple. We got into a big brawl. I don't have a good criminal record here either.
So they took that into account?
Yeah, they take that into account. And so
yeah.
I'm not allowed in the UK at all.
Ever?
As of now, it's never. You know what I mean?
And 50 also posted this receipt. 50's upcoming London show on Thursday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is sold out all the same. And 50 added the caption, how do you win a fight if you're fighting someone who is too stupid to know they lost? Just keep hitting them till they stop moving, thinking face emoji. However, some have reminded 50, on a side note, 50, you better hire the Marines, Diddy's coming home, laughing emoji. And moving on, we got to hear from 15 after, who wrote the chorus and provided additional vocals on Like My Ish on the expanded Mourners edition of the death of Slim Shady. And apparently, this took 3 years to come to fruition and even put his relationship on the line.
I got a song on an Eminem album. Story starts off in 2021. I had just gotten out of the army, decided to move to LA, so I packed up my car, drove it out here from the base I was stationed at in Fort Riley, Kansas. My apartment wasn't ready, so I was just dropping my car off and then flying to Philly to visit some family. But I was out here for 3 days. DA hit me. DA got that dope. Hit me on like the second day. I was out here and was like, yo, we got this hook. We need somebody to cut it. Where you at right now? And I was like, bro, I'm in LA. Just pure coincidence. I was like, I'm in LA. And he was like, yo, you're not that far from where I'm staying. Just pull up, cut it real quick. My girlfriend at the time was pissed because she had all 3 days planned out. She had family that she wanted me to meet. So me saying I had to dip off to go to the studio was like a major problem for her. So I almost didn't go. I ended up going anyway because DA and Charlie Heat were like the only 2 people I knew in the industry at the time. And I was like, yo, this could be a big opportunity. I don't want to miss out on something because I'm catering to my girlfriend. So I went, did the hook, took like 2 hours, came back, argued with my girl for longer than that. And then that was it. Didn't hear anything for 3 years. 3 years later, I'm randomly in a session. DA is calling me back to back. And I'm like, yo, I finally pick up and I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? He's like, yo, Eminem is putting the song on the album. He might keep you on there. It's between you and another artist. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? I was not expecting that. So I was like, yo, just let me know. You know what I'm saying? The day before the song comes out, I get an email and it's the paperwork for the song. And DA calls me, he's like, yo, they just sent the paperwork. The song comes out tomorrow at 6. We need you to sign this and send it back ASAP. And I was like, yo, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, Eminem is one of the people I listened to from when I was a little kid. So me being on a song with him, me being on his album was just crazy, like unexpected and crazy, man. So anyway, that's the story. Dream come true. Shout out Eminem. Shout out DA. Got that dope. Shout out God, man, because he's the only person that could have made that happen.